This video is sponsored by SGP. Shop SGP for quality accessories for all your mobile devices. Visit them online at www.sgpstore.com.
Hey guys, Tom with BuyMeAniPhone.com back at you today, and as you can see, we have a lot of cases here on the table, and if you haven't figured it out yet, we have the entire Candyshell line from Speck. As you guys know, Speck is one of my favorite companies and my favorite cases, and a lot of these cases, well, all these cases are very similar in some ways, yet different also. So instead of doing a separate video on each, and really kind of boring you with a lot of the same things and just a couple of differences, I'm going to do them all in one, and I'm going to show you kind of the differences on each and what may or may not make you want one or the other. And I think it'll give you a good idea on which one may be right for you. So let's start from the left here. This is the traditional Candyshell. Okay, it is the straight Candyshell, and as you can see, all of these have the new designed humongous camera flash hole, which I'll get into some more. We have the new Candyshell Satin. We have, backed by popular demand, the Candyshell View, the Candyshell Flip. We got these mixed up. The Candyshell Flip, backed by popular demand. This was discontinued for a while, and it has come back, and we'll talk about that some more. And then we have what was announced this time last year, believe it or not, at CES. We have the Candyshell View. So we're going to go through all of these, and we're going to tell you what I like and don't like about each of them, and which one may be right for you. So a lot of these will be the same, and let's go over the sames, or the similarities, the sames. What kind of English is that? The similarities first, and then we'll get into the differences. Okay, we're going to save the Candyshell View for just a little bit later, because that's kind of its own beast in itself. So the Candyshell Satin, and the Candyshell Flip, all similar styles. As you can see on the inside, they all have the nice rubberized interior with the Speck logo kind of cut out there. Very nice protective interior. Okay. Now, if you have noticed in the previous versions of the Candyshell has been very hard to get on and off of your phone. That, no more. Okay, I have not had any problem getting the phone on and off of either the Candyshell or the Candyshell Satin. The Candyshell Flip, obviously, you're not going to have problems getting this one on and off. So, what is the difference between the Candyshell and the Candyshell Satin? Okay, besides the color, obviously. Everything is pretty much identical. Okay, the buttons are about the same, the cutout is the same, the top cutout is the same, the button is the same. Pretty much the bottom cutouts are about the same. The difference between the Candyshell and the Candyshell Satin is the Candyshell has that glossy texture that we all know and love, okay? And the Satin has a matte texture or a satin texture. Now, why would you pick one over the other? Now, some of us really love the glossiness of the Candyshell, but after a while you do get some scratches and some swirls in it, okay? So that may be a negative for you. The Satin does not have that high gloss texture and that high gloss look, yet the Satin, if you're familiar with the MacBook Satin, the Satin for the MacBook, it does not get those scratches in it, okay? You're not going to get those scratches. It's going to stay nice and clean, pretty much about how it is. So those are the similarities and differences on the Candyshell and the Candyshell Satin, besides the colors that are available, which we'll go into later. Both of these, $34.95. Now, the Candyshell Flip, okay, just like the Candyshell, although if you've seen the Flip in the past, you have this little hinge here, okay, and you're able to just flip it off the phone and dock it, which is really cool. That's really important to me. So let's show you how the phone goes in there. You're just going to put the phone in, really easy. Okay, slide the phone up, and you have your little flip. Really, really cool. I love the Candyshell Flip. The hinge kind of gives it a unique look. Same big cutout. The buttons are about the same. And let's get some more light here. The buttons are about the same. The cutouts are the same. all the way around. Hey, pretty much everything the same, except you're able to easily flip the bottom off and then pop it in your dock. Again, the Candyshell Flip, $34.95. Okay. And again, it has that high gloss texture, so after a while you're going to get those scratches and swirls and you know, generally what goes along with the glossy Candyshell. So those are the three differences on the Candyshell Satin, and the Candyshell Flip. Now, all three have this nice big humongous cutout. Now, some people may say, Tom, the cutout is way too big. It really distorts the protectivity. You know, guys, with the iPhone 4S, and I've talked about this before, the camera is so good on the 4S that I want to be able to use the camera and the flash whenever I want. And with most cases nowadays, the flash really hinders that. You've got that vignetting with the flash when you take a picture. These big cutouts, although it does leave a little bit more of your phone exposed, it does not have the problem with the vignetting on the pictures with the flash bounce back. Okay? No problems with that whatsoever. Okay? As always, the Candyshell line, super protective, super classy. Now, getting over to the Candyshell View. Okay, this was introduced last year at CES. It's finally readily available, and this is a really neat product. Now, as you can see, it's a little bit thicker than the Candyshell line. It is a little bit different. The inside is a little bit different. It does have the hard outside with the kind of softer inside, but on the View, you've got this little stand that pops out. So that's pretty cool. So let's get the phone in there. Now, because the View is a little bit harder of a case, it is a little bit more difficult to get the phone in and out of. So you're really going to have to concentrate on getting that in there. What you do is you put the mute switch down, and you really kind of got to work it in there. Okay, and then you can flip that switch back up. As you can see on this one, the hole for the silent switch is a little bit deeper, so it's a little bit harder to get your finger in there. Everything else, again, the same as the Candyshell line. You've got your nice tactile button. You've got your opening there for the for your headphone jack and your secondary microphone. For some reason, the lighting is not great in here today. You've got your cutout for your camera hole, although it is a little bit deeper, okay, and it is not as big. I did have some issues with some vignetting on that. Not much. It was more so the darker you get, the more vignetting and flash bounce back that you have on this one. Okay, but the cutouts on the bottom, great. Okay, separate cutouts for your 30-pin microphone and speaker. But here is the kicker on this one, and no pun intended. Okay, you slide this baby out, okay, and this is kind of, I don't know how they do this, but it is retractable. Maybe there's some kind of rubber band in there or something. But what you do is you pull this out, pull it up, okay, and it pops into place, and you have a built-in stand. So you can stand it either in landscape mode, or you can stand it in portrait mode. Okay, I like landscape a little bit more. On portrait, it's at a higher angle. Okay, as you can see, so it's a little bit more prone to come forward, but I think it's mostly designed for landscape, so you get a really nice stand there. So great to use this if you're traveling, if you like to watch a lot of movies, consume a lot. Okay, now the Candyshell View is $39.95, and then when you're done viewing, you simply push this in here, put it down, let go, back in. So, yes, a little bit thicker than the Candyshell itself, as you can see, the other Candyshells. Not by much, though, okay? The edges are a little bit rounded, it is a little bit thicker, okay? But, okay, you've got that neat little stand that's always with you. Now, to get your Candyshell View off, this is where I had a little bit of a challenge. What you do is you put your vibrate switch down, you take your finger, and you kind of push it there, and get two corners off first. Okay. And then you're able to get the rest of the phone out. The Candyshell View, guys, okay, very challenging to get out. Okay, the other candy shells, a lot easier than in the past. So we're gonna kind of take that and really kind of use the camera hole also to kind of help push that out. Okay, but pretty challenging to get that out. So guys, the trick to getting off the candy shell view, okay, is to kind of pry off this part here, put your thumb in the camera hole and just kind of ease it out just to get it across the lip. Then kind of pull off this corner here, just get that out, and then you'll be able to pop it right out through the camera hole, okay? Very tricky though, okay? So just take your time, don't get aggravated, and don't get nervous, okay? Unlike the regular candy shell and the Candyshell Satin, where now it is very easy to get them in and out, whereas before it was very difficult. Really easy, put it in there, popped in. Okay, and then make sure that your vibrate switch is down. Take the top, get your 2 out, and there you go. It's right out there. Okay, very easy to get that one on and off now. As opposed to in the past, the candy shell was almost impossible to get on and off. Here's the satin. Satin, there you go, very easy to get on. And when you're ready to take it off, make sure your vibrate switch is down. Take the top, kind of pull that back, and then take the top and pop it on out. And there you go. And you know guys, the bigger camera hole, okay, lends to getting this case off easier. So very cool there. So that is the kind of my review on the 4 candy shell. So let's kind of get these in the area. So which one should you guys get? And let's kind of zoom this out a little bit. If you like glossy and you like the glossy colors and you don't mind the finish getting some scratch swirls in it after a while, then I would say go with the candy shell. If you don't like that, okay, if you like matte or you don't like the scratches that you eventually see in the candy shell line, satin is for you, and I think this is the one for me. Now, which kind of lends me to a little dilemma. I love the candy shell flip, okay, because it's very easy to dock, easy to take in and out. I think it looks really cool. Okay. Now, the next thing that I really wish Speck would do is to make a candy shell flip satin. Now, that would be the creme de la creme. Now, if you like viewing and you watch a lot of movies and you travel a lot and you want a stand that is integrated into your case, the candy shell view is the one for you. Okay, again, pull it out. There's your stand. When you're done, push that in like that, and it's back in. Really cool, really, really easy. So those are the 4 kind of family members of the candy shell. The candy shell, the satin, the flip, the view. If you love glossy, don't mind the scratches after a while, candy shell. Okay, don't like glossy or you don't hate the scratches, the satin is the one for you. If you like to dock and you want extremely easy installation and deinstallation, the flip is your bad boy. And if you consume a lot of media, then the flip is probably the one that you want. So now let's kind of get these out of the way and let's show you a little bit of what these cost and where you can get them. So we're going to go to the iPad, and I am at Speck's website. Okay, and we go to shop and we go to 4S. So here is the candy shell line. Okay, again, I mentioned it is $34.95, and it comes in a ton of colors, guys. This orange and kind of purpley blue one I love, but let's go through all of them. Okay, here is the wax stick white. As you can see up here, that is an AT&T exclusive. So if you want that one, you're going to either have to find it online somewhere, or you're going to have to go to an AT&T store to get that one. Okay, next up is the raspberry truffle white. Again, an AT&T exclusive. So that is the white and the raspberry truffle. Next up is the peppermint white. Again, that is a web exclusive directly from Speck. You'll only be able to get that from their website, so you'll be able to get that from Speck. Next up, another web exclusive is the Sea Dragon purple. Another cool color there. Next, okay, you can pretty much get anywhere. There's no exclusivity on this. This is the Fine Wine Burgundy. Okay. Next up is an Apple exclusive. You can only get this in the Apple stores. Okay, this is Pirates Cove Teal. Next up, non-exclusive. You can get it pretty much anywhere. Radberry Purple. Next, we have another web exclusive. You can only get it directly from Speck, Snake Bite Green. Okay, the Tiger Claw Orange. This used to be an Apple exclusive, but it does not look like an Apple exclusive anymore. I've had my eye on this one. Used to be Apple exclusive. It is not. Next up is the Batwing Black. Okay, straight black. You've got your Moon Suit White. And I think that's what we're rocking over here. And here we have a new product. This is the Black and Peacock. That's the same colors as we have in the Flip, just in the regular Candyshell. We have the White and Aubergine. I think that's how you pronounce it. Okay, that is a white and a purplish. And then we have an AT&T exclusive, Pomodoro and Black. And then finally, another new product that is Black and Pomodoro. So those are all your flavors of Candyshells. Now let's get back to... let's go on to the Candyshell Satin. Okay, so let's go down to the Candyshell Satin for the iPhone 4 4S. Now, there's two colors for the Satin right now. There is the dark gray and gray, which we have reviewed, and the white and Pomodoro. Okay, really cool. These are like Dexter colors. So those are the only two in the Satin right now. Now, moving along to the Flip. Let's get right down to the Flip here. The Candyshell Flip. Where is it? Where is it? The Candyshell Flip. Oh, here we go. Candyshell Flip. The Candyshell Flip comes in three colors. It comes in the white raspberry, the black peacock, which we had today, and the black and gray. Okay, so those are those three. Again, all three of those are $34.95. Now we're going to go to the Candyshell View. Okay, let's scroll down to the Candyshell View. The Candyshell View for the iPhone 4 and 4S. Okay, $39.95, guys. Okay, a little bit more expensive. It comes in the Batwing Black. It comes in the white and aubergine, so that's the white and kind of purpley, violet, I would say. And it comes in the black and Pomodoro. I can't see if that's an O or an A. So those are the three colors that you have there. So let's get back to the cases themselves and let's wrap this up. So we have, again, traditional Candyshell, Candyshell Satin, which I think is one of my new favorites. The Candyshell Flip, always have a special place in my heart. And the Candyshell View. So guys, that is the review and comparison of the Candyshell family. I hope that this was helpful to you. I know that this was an extremely long video, but I really wanted to give you all the ins and outs and show you what's available from Speck. Speck has always come out with great products, and they're really evolving and listening to us and tailoring their products to what us as users, consumers, reviewers want. And one of the things that was big for us is the hole in the Candyshell to avoid any flash bounce back. So a little bit concession that it's a bigger hole, but man, you don't have to worry about any vignetting in your pictures when you use the flash anymore. So guys, that's it for me in this kind of review and shakedown of the Candyshell family. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. It's tommosha@buymeaniphone.com. Follow us on Twitter. It's twitter.com/buymeaniphone. You want to follow me personally? It's twitter.com/nerfsqueezer. As always, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. None of this would be happening without you guys. So I want to thank you for that. Remember, tell the ones you love them today. And until the next video, we'll see you then and have a great day. Talk to you soon.